Today on After Rehearsal Behind the Music, we're going to sit down with singer and songwriter 712. We're going to learn about his story, his progression, the heart of the inspiration of the music that he makes. Check it out, 712. Welcome. We got 712 out here. Super excited to have you here on the pod After Rehearsal Behind the Music. Literally still recording stuff for your new
Yeah.
upcoming project, and you got Pretty Brown Skin Girl out now. What are some other things
Yes.
you have coming up?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me, man. I'm
Absolutely.
excited to be here. I'm 712, as y'all know. As my friends know, I'm Steph, the father, musician, son, all that good stuff. I started music very young, man. Started in the church, playing the organ at 6 years old. My foot couldn't reach the pedals, but I was getting it done. But uh, but yeah, man, that's pretty much it. We are gearing up for the album to drop November 7th, called H2H, Happy to Heartbreak. It's a whole storyline, very conceptual project. So I'm excited to put that out to the world, man.
So we have a number one Billboard songwriting song under your belt. Walk us through the moment that you realized this song would be a hit at that level, and what were the earliest ideas? How did you craft the hook? How did you kind of put everything, like, how did you just know that it was going to be special in that writing process?
So with this song, actually, it was a session for an entirely different artist by the name of Natalie Orphelia. At the time, we were working on records for her, and it was my first time meeting her and everything. So we were in the session, and she was like I'm too sober. I like blah blah blah, and I was like, that's it, that's the song. And then I went into the booth, and I said, I can't get what you deserve from me. Whenever you talk, I have a hard time listening. That was the first thing I said, and I was like, okay, that's it. Okay, so you're kind of dazed or whatever. But when we wrote that record was written, I think, in 2020. And it finally found a home in 2025 with the group Siren. Shout out Candy Factory and all them. But yeah, it finally found a home then. And initially I was like, okay, there's a record, it's coming out, cool. All right, it's Candy's group, that's cool. All right, whatever. Still working, still got to make stuff happen, right? Um, one morning I woke up and I think Jo hit me the day before. He's one of the producers of the record, and he's like, yo, I got some news for y'all tomorrow. And I was like, what's tomorrow? I wake up, it says Sober is number 23 on the charts. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, wait, how? But I'm like, okay, so it's doing great in radio, it's doing great in streaming and things like that. So when it was at 23, I was like, okay, I mean, that's cool. I was like, That's dope that it's up there at 23. It's up there with the likes of Money Long and all those good people. You know what I mean? So I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, okay, keep working, keep going. We got things to do. Then the next week it jumped from, I think, 23 to like 18. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna start watching it. So I paid for the subscription to Billboard because you have to have a subscription to see the list from 10 down. So I was watching it every week, and it kept just gradually going up and up and up. And then it started getting to where like the residuals was by Chris Brown and Here We Go by Coco, and it was a song by Money Long. It wasn't Hours and Hours, it was another song she had. But it was up there with those. I was like, it ain't gonna go number one. I was like, nah, it's cool. But my aunt, she called me. She was like, it's a song you wrote for some girls. It's gonna go number one, and it's gonna go number one on my birthday. Her birthday is February 14th. She was like, I had a dream. She said, I saw you with the plaque and it's gonna happen. And I was like, man, my auntie don't know what she's talking about. But my auntie is a dreamer. She's always been that my entire life. But I was just like, yeah, all right, whatever. Mine, keep it going, keep it going. She's like, it's gonna go number one. I'm telling you, it went number one in my dream. It's gonna happen. I think that around this time, it's like December. But sure enough, February 15th is when the chart came out. It was number one. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is insane. And it's just like, I don't know, it's still surreal to me when I look at it in my office. It doesn't feel real to me, even though it is. And I mean, I can say that I'm a number one songwriter and all that jazz, but it's a blessing, man. Very unexpected, excited to do more for sure.
Man, I love that, and that's an incredible accomplishment because I know like a lot of times when you're writing and you're going through the process, you want to do you know what's best for the artist, but then you're also like you have that feeling like
Hmm.
yeah, this might be it. During the writing process, did you have the feeling of knowing that it might really hit from kind of that, hey, I'm too sober for all this?
Yeah, I was like, this is like a great song. But the thing is, like nothing happened with it for years. So it's just like, okay, we got all these songs. Like there's plenty of other songs that like that I have that I've written that like haven't found that perfect home. That will probably come out next year and the years to come. But in that moment, we were like, this song is really, really good. Okay, what's gonna happen with it? We shopped it around, like it was a few potential places that it could have gone, but none of them worked out, and I guess it was for the best. But we definitely knew we had something great on our hands for sure, 100%.
Man, love that. So you're not only a singer and vocalist, but a producer. When you're producing an R&B track, what are the sonic elements you're chasing, and what differentiates your production approach versus when you started?
I think where a lot of producers, well, first and foremost, lately I've been like taking the back burner on production a little bit. I think it's like maybe one or two songs I produce on my album, but what I've done is I've got with producers who understand my sound and understand like what I want from production. So I feel like a lot of producers crowd their records when you need to leave some openness for the vocal. You need to leave openness for the story. Um, but yeah, so my thing is like you want something that's like atmospheric almost. You want space, but you still want it to be musical, of course. I mean, we're musicians, of course, we want all the chord changes and all that good stuff. But it's time and place for that. I feel like a lot of people try to crowd it with chords and crowd it with 40 drum sounds. Like it's a whole thing. But me, openness is my immediate thing. I'm like, okay, this has to be open, sound good, feel good, but open.
I love that. Who are R&B vocalists and producers who have inspired your sound both historically and currently, and how did you absorb what they did to make it your own?
Number one, Brandy. I feel like she does not get the flowers that she deserves. That lady is indeed the vocal Bible, 100%. I think the first time I heard a Brandy song, I was watching Moesha and she was performing something. I was like, she's different. Then I realized she actually made music because at the time, I grew up in a Pentecostal church and they didn't allow you to listen to, certain things. So I went off on my own to the library and I looked her up and I heard, "Have you ever loved someone?" And sitting up in my room, I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy." So from there, like just her the way she arranges her background vocals, the way things are stacked, the way the structure of her songs are, is something that I really like took hold on from her. So number one, her. Number two, I would have to say Stevie Wonder. That was the first secular artist I ever heard. I think the song was I think it was Overjoyed. And that was the first Overjoyed. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. My brain did like a like a whole like explosion. But Stevie for sure, his songwriting, his delivery, his artistry as a musician as well as a writer and singer. Stevie for sure. Currently, I gotta say Chris Brown. Now, a lot of people can say what they want about Chris, but that guy is talented. He's anointed, whether you like it or not. He's talented. Like the way, even though Chris doesn't write a lot of his stuff now, but nobody is gonna sing it the way he sings it. Nobody's gonna deliver it the way he delivers it. Um, yeah, Chris Brown, his delivery, you know, his enthusiasm for the craft. Like some people be like, "Oh, he dropped a 45 song album, but all 45 songs are good." Like it's not no lousy 45 songs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, his love and delivery is one thing that I grasped. And someone else, Ty Dolla Sign, but early Ty Dolla Sign. Now, not so much. But earlier Ty Dolla Sign was like when he was really hungry and he was incorporating like recording his brother from jail. I was like, yo, this guy's really creative. Like he's playing these instruments, he's producing this stuff, he's writing this stuff. So that's another thing that like really stuck out with me. I saw myself in him because I'm like, I'm playing all these instruments. I'm, being as creative as I can possibly be with what I have. So definitely Ty Dolla. And I think Tank is the last one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory.
Yes.
Tank is something serious. I have a record right now that I want to get to Tank so bad, but it's so hard to reach like him because one, I don't think he runs his Instagram DMs. An automated message is gonna come to you, and it's like, okay, nah.
Right.
And I ran into him at Revolt World, and his response was, "Just DM, you DM, you get the auto." Like I'm like, nah, bro. I'm cool. But yeah, those are some of my inspirations for sure. And last but definitely not least, my mom. My mom is a singer. She's one of the greatest singers I've ever heard in my life. But of course, she stayed within the gospel realm or whatever. But yeah, my mom is one of the greatest vocalists I've ever heard, and she definitely instilled that love for music in me for sure.
I,
From
I,
I was singing before I was talking, so
right.
that's her.
I definitely resonate in a lot of the things that you were saying. Just not only the artists that inspired you, leaving out and hearing Brandy, and you're like, and hearing Stevie Wonder, and you're just like, whoa, what the heck? I think for me, the one of the first R&B artists I had snuck away and found the cassette for was Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm like, what
Mm,
is this, and how are you hiding this from me? And like
yeah,
hearing "Gotta Get You Into My Life" and "Get Away" and all these other things, and I'm just like.
absolutely.
I'm like
Exactly.
hearing Stevie, hearing Brandy, hearing Monica, hearing like shoot Prince, Michael Jackson, like all these
Hmm.
people that come up and you're like, yo, this is
Oh
crazy.
my God, I'm tripping.
Um,
Michael, for
Also,
sure.
for what would you say foundationally you learned in the church, and what was your journey from not leaving it, but drawing from what you took to now being in your own realm and field within R&B? Like, what was that journey like transitioning and like, hey, this is the direction I'm gonna go?
So I think one thing that I learned in the church setting is like time and place to like for because like let's say you're playing talk music or not. There's a time and place where you take it to where he's about to start hooping. And there's a time and place where you stay still. So I think one thing I took from the church is time and place. Like, and that's with creating, that's with life in general. But my transition from like, well, not necessarily from the church because I still go to church, but my transition into R&B, I think what gives me like an edge, I feel like you have to have some sort of anointing to like really truly make great music. You know what I mean? So a lot of people try to ignore it. A lot of people try to be like, well, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. It's all me. No, I know for a fact that I'm gifted from God, 100%. So I would never omit that 100%. But I think when you come up in that church environment, that there's just an extra seasoning that you have that nobody else has that you that gives you this advantage over everybody. To be honest.
How does fatherhood affect your creative process, and does the role of being a dad shift how you write songs, choosing projects, or spend studio time?
So okay, so I'll say this. Before my son was born, I wasn't really motivated to make music. And I had said that I'm gonna step away from being an artist and I'm just gonna write and I'm just gonna be on the back burner. But when he was born, like my creativity just he put the ultimate. battery in my back for sure. But as far as like recording, when he was a baby, I would record with him in the room. So when he's taking a nap, I'm recording. He's right there. When when he's playing with his toys, like you'll hear him on some of the records and on my album, and I left it on purpose. Um, like you'll hear him in the background, yeah, 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 crying or playing with his toys or whatever. Um, but yeah, he definitely changed. I think the way I say certain things in my songs because I know eventually one day he will hear what I'm saying. Like whether he's an adult or a kid, he's gonna hear it and he's gonna be like, "My dad was saying that." But it's a way to say certain things without it being so in your face. You know what I'm saying? So I think I try to make it my mission to say things that an adult would understand. So once he becomes 18, he's like, oh, okay, makes sense. But as a kid, I don't want him going to school and be like, yeah, your dad got that song that's talking about blah 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 blah. Like, no. So I try to not necessarily censor myself, but like find creative ways to say what I want to say without it being so vulgar and like in your face. You know what I mean? Of course there are certain records where you just, but for the most part I try to keep it, at a minimum and, be a good example verbally for him.
For me, I transitioned early on from being like, hey, no, like I'm making music, I need it quiet in here to like
Hmm.
not be a part of the process because realizing they draw inspiration from it and my girls listen to my songs before anybody else and they give the approval like, Daddy, that was great, or mm,
Yes.
it needs some more.
You
And I
know,
was
you
like,
know
all
what's
right,
crazy? You know what's crazy? When I finish the song, I play it. I'll sit him in my lap, and he'll just start jumping. He'll start jumping. It was one song that was a sad song, and he didn't jump. He didn't like it. I said, "That's not going on the album." I said, "That's not going on the album." But yeah, like he definitely, I can tell he has it already. When I'm recording, he's trying to be in the mic, trying to sing. So I'm like, yeah. So he has it. Definitely gonna have him in the environment for sure.
man, and it's a beautiful thing because then it kind of connects to the legacy of it as well.
For sure.
Not so like you were saying, like, hey, there's certain things that I don't want them to have association with my songs, but also there's certain things that like, hey, you were in the studio when I recorded that. Now that went here.
Exactly.
Or now you get to learn about, okay, Dad, how do I mix? Okay, how do I layer these vocals, da da da. And that becomes
Exactly.
a part of the process that helps refine us as teachers, but then also it shows them because they're always around that.
Yeah, and now like what I'm doing, like he has points on everything I'm working on. So just like this number one, he has a number one because he has points on it. So when he was born, he can say, "Hey, when I was born, I had a number one record."
Let's go.
So,
Let's go.
but yeah, just little stuff like that. Definitely inspiring, definitely pushing me to, push the boundary, go further for sure.
So, in your growth as a singer, musician, artist, producer, whether it be recognition limited, money was thin, overcoming mental obstacles, like what is in that area of being in the bottom or the very lowest you've ever been? Um, how did you take a look at the obstacles that you had in your life or just being at your very lowest? And how did you navigate those things to be where you are now? Because everybody has that, man, not only music, but just life in general. Like you've hit your
Mhm.
absolute lowest. What did that look like for you mentally? And then how did you navigate coming out of that?
I think my lowest was probably last year when his mom was pregnant. It was difficult, man. It was tough. I'm like, okay, I have to be a great father. I have to provide. I have to boom, boom. Maybe I shouldn't be doing music. And then, like at the time, the music wasn't doing well. Like the music, what I mean, and nobody was getting songs. And we're coming out of the pandemic. People are like, no, what I mean. But I think my transition, honestly, was therapy and God, man. I ain't gonna lie. Therapy and God. I had a lot of things that I didn't deal with from childhood, like growing up. Little things that I had like towards my parents, or little stuff like that that I had to like let go because you can't. This is one thing. You can't elevate if you're holding on to an anchor. If you're holding on to stuff that's not important, that's not going to be relevant to your life, and it's not even relevant now, but you're holding it as if it's relevant. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go through a lot of that. I had to speak with people. I had to deal with the fact that I lost a child at 19. Like I didn't face that until going to therapy last year. You know what I mean? So like, and I'm 29 years old now. That was 10 years ago. So, so yeah, stuff like that. I had to really like dial in on me, and I'm like, okay, in order to be a good father, I need to be a good person. First of all, I need to work on this. I need to work through this. I need to talk to my dad. I need to be like, okay, how did you do this? Da, da, da. I need to work on my relationship with my dad. You know, love my dad to death, but we had our little, our little spat growing up. But yeah, definitely working through therapy and prayer, man. That's what got me where I am right now, to be honest.
In that journey of coming from your lowest, taking a look at past life traumas, losing your child, I'm sorry to hear that. But then also the natural like spat through your dad and just the hey, I have to take on all of these different things on my shoulders.
Mhm.
Navigating through that is a very beautiful thing because it's helped you to get to where you are today. So an important aspect of what I like doing with this podcast is not only diving into the music and the artistry, but taking a look at who the artist is. So if you were to say in your rise right now as an artist, what would you want your audience to know about who you are as a man today outside of your music?
Who I am as a man today? Wow, that's a good question. Who I am today as a man, I am more vulnerable than ever. And I think it's because of the fact that I am a dad. I think being a father opened my eyes to so many things that I was doing wrong. Um, so many like just traits that I was carrying like that. For example, like let me think of a good example. For example, like I would tell a lie for no reason. But now I'm like, okay, I don't you don't want your son to be that way. You know what I mean? So I had to work through that. I had to be like, no, that's not the way to live, you know. So now I'm very vulnerable, very transparent, and I'm real. I'm not somebody you can't access. You know what I'm saying? I'm real, I'm raw, and I'm honest, man. And that's the vibe moving forward.
I love that, man. And I think as we grow in fatherhood, as we grow in artistry, as we grow in life, that we find that when we've had those moments in life and those experiences in lives and traumas that have humbled us, and we've come to the thing where we really unpacked it all. It's like, all right, like I ain't got no
Yep,
choice but to just be real, be me, be open, because
exactly.
you either gonna take me or leave me. Like this is who I am,
Take
straight
me as
up.
I am, or leave me where I'm at.
Right. And look, that could be a song.
Exactly. It might already be one.
Like, hold, let me hit record real quick. Me.
Yeah.
So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years through your music, through your production, through how you are really ramping up your work? And I'm sure there's going to be projects and projects, tours and tours. And then just what is the larger picture of where you really desire for your career to go?
Yeah. So I think within the next 5 to 10 years, um, still want to be creating, still want to be writing. But I think as far as artistry, I think in 5 to 10 years, I would love to step away and just be behind the scenes. I want to produce for people. I want to engineer for people, and I want to do the right thing by people because the wrong thing has been done by me. Like I've been in the music industry since I was 18 years old. There has been bad managers, bad deals. There's a song that's 3 times platinum that I wrote when I was 19 years old that I have no credit on at all. Absolutely zero. So I think in the next like 5 to 10 years or so, after all the touring and all the accolades and whatnot, I definitely want to help people and bring back artist development and you know like really being real and being honest and being like that help that artists need. And I feel like a lot of today's music is like what's quick, what's viral, what's like I hate that. Whenever I go in meetings, they'd be like, "We need something that's viral." I'm like, "No, you don't. You need a good song." You need a good song, and y'all have the marketing dollars. Just put it behind it. You don't need a viral TikTok for something to go crazy. So I definitely want to step into helping the up and coming next generation, next artists, and giving them that development so we can have longevity. That's why we don't have longevity in artists anymore because they don't develop them. So you find an artist who's popping on TikTok, you put them in Madison Square Garden, and they don't start in the Masquerade or they don't start in like the little juke joint. They burn out within the first tour, and after that, they can't make the TikTok song no more because you put them in front of all these people and they just burn out and they're done. And there's no 20-year careers like Chris Brown. There's no 30, 25 Usher. Like, that we don't have that no, because we're missing artist development. So I definitely want to step into artist development and, help the future for sure.
Last two follow-ups from what you said from that, because I think you really touched on something very key that I agree with as well. What do you think is missing in artist development? Having not only been around music, but knows good music itself from the people that inspire you.
Yeah, artist development, I feel like performing in general is a lost art. I feel like a lot of people just go up there. A lot of people hide behind bands too. Um, Two things. They hide behind bands and they hide behind the actual record. I feel like if you're going to perform your song, learn your song, sing your song live, it's cool. It's great to have a great band, but don't hide behind them and they doing all the work and people are leaving like, that band was crazy, but that vocal was a little, you know what I mean? So actually practicing, actually rehearsing, also like how to carry yourself in the media. You know what I mean? How to speak to people, how to, you know what I mean? Some people are, I understand, like me personally, I'm from the hood. I'm from the ghetto, but I'm not gonna walk around and carry myself that way because I had some sort of development from my cousin, who was also he's hers executive producer. His name is Swag. But I had that development young. Like you have to carry yourself how you want to be treated. You can't carry yourself like a snob. You can't be like loud and ghetto and all that stuff. It's a time and place. When you with your homies back home, back in the hood, do you. But you made a choice to be this public figure. So that there are certain ways that you have to move. And you know what I mean? I feel like that's a part of the development of an artist, you know what I mean? And we don't have that anymore. We jump straight to the stage, straight from their bedroom to the stage. They made the song in the bedroom, they're on stage, and boom, that's it. Figure it out. Give them some money, let them get into whatever. That's how a lot of them get into drugs and everything, and it's just a whole thing. Like it's a lot missing from artist development for sure.
Final question here. So you wanna go through the route of like producing everything that's in your heart and things like that, and then eventually step back in the role where you're doing production. What are what is kind of your wish list of people that you want to produce or write for that you never have had the opportunity to do so yet?
Number one on my list is Brandy. I have a song right now that's called Mine that I wrote with my friend Rosander Javier and Trey Ace. It's a song called Mine, and it's like a part two of The Boy Is Mine, but it's so crazy, man. I'll send it to you. But I want to get her this song so bad, and I will do everything in my power to get it to her. But Brandy is at the top of my list for sure. Um, Secondly, I want to work with Leon Thomas. I feel like he and I could make something incredible together. I feel like our brains creatively are a little similar. Um, and who else? I already told you Tank, but if I get a hold of him, I get a hold of him. But last, Kaylani. Kaylani is onto something right now. And I feel like her and I together could create something incredible for sure. But that's my list right now.
Thank you, 712, for being on After Rehearsal, Behind the Music, for taking your time. Excellent interview. Appreciate your time. And if you'd like to go ahead and give a shout out for your song, your single that you have out, and then your project, go ahead.
Yeah, so again, thank you for having me, man. Y'all can go get Pretty Brown Skin Girl. It's out everywhere. Make sure you're using the sound on TikTok, on Instagram, all that jazz. Make sure you stream it, buy it. You can bootleg it if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. Just listen to it. My album H2H is going to be out November 7th, everywhere available on all DSPs. So make sure we download that, stream that. This is a 100% independent effort, so I appreciate all your love and support. You can follow me on all socials at 712. And yeah, you can get involved, get on my email list, go to my link in my bio, do all that information, scroll down, put your email in, and we can be in contact. If you're in Atlanta, November 7th, I am doing my album release party. The link for the tickets are in my bio. Go get them. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be me, Maya Dyson, Javier Devon, Rosander, and many more. It's going to be a great night of R&B, and we're just going to be celebrating my release, man. It's going to be exciting, and I hope to see you all there. Once again, thank you, bro.
Thank you so much for tuning into After Rehearsal Behind the Music, hosted by Daniel James Collective. Today we learned about 712, his story, his journey, and everything in between. And 712's new single, Pretty Brown Skin Girl, out on all streaming platforms. Buy, purchase, and take a look.
My pretty